Watson will start a game for the Dolphins this season. Would that be an overreaction?
I think it would be an overreaction, yes. I'm still not sure he's going to even get traded there. Even if he did, it's not a certainty he would start for them this season. He'd have to get up to speed with the offense. The commissioner's office could put him on the exempt list. There's all kinds of things that could prevent it from happening. I think it's too soon to say that.
All right, the next one is about a big battle in the AFC North. If I were to say the winner of Sunday's game, Bengals-Ravens, is going to win that division, would that be an overreaction?
It would not be an overreaction. Think about it. If the Ravens win, they're already the only 5-1 team in the conference. They'd be the only 6-1 team in the conference. If the Bengals win, they'd be tied for first with a very impressive confidence-building win on their resume. Absolutely not an overreaction.
All right, and then one more. If I were to say the Titans are going to beat Kansas City Sunday and drop the Chiefs to below 500, would that be an overreaction?
Not as long as they're giving the ball to that guy, Derrick Henry. The Chiefs' defense has struggled this year. This game is in Nashville. The Titans just beat up a very good Buffalo Bills defense on Monday night. I think the Titans absolutely have a chance to win this game.
Well, let's talk about just how important this game could be, particularly for Kansas City. We came into this season talking about whether or not they could go 17-0. If they lose this game, our analytics say they have just a 61% chance of making the playoffs. They enter with a 72% chance. If they win, it goes to 80%, so we will see. So we have the two real genuine superstars on display in this game. You got Derrick Henry on one side, Patrick Mahomes on the other. And Nick, you were telling us before the show, you think Henry has a chance to go off this Sunday?
Yeah, of course he does. If the Tennessee Titans were able to run the football over a top 5 defense in the Buffalo Bills, what are they going to do to the 32nd ranked defense of the Kansas City Chiefs? So they definitely have a chance because of that running game. I'm picking Tennessee here. I'm picking them to beat Kansas City. Kansas City has a terrible defense. They can't stop a nosebleed. So when you look at the Tennessee Titans and their ability to run the football, what does that do? You win the time of possession battle, keeps the ball away from the Kansas City's offense, which we know Patrick Mahomes is explosive and can score at any time. So for me, I'm going with the Tennessee Titans.
It's an interesting way maybe to look at this game, RC. Who has the bigger day? Henry on one side or Mahomes on the other?
You know what? They're both going to go absolutely nuts. Derrick Henry is going to run all over the Kansas City Chiefs, and Patrick Mahomes is going to go absolutely berserk on these backup corners for the Tennessee Titans. Did you not watch the game last week or this Monday? I mean, Josh Allen was just backing up and throwing pick a corner. He's like, oh, we'll pick him this play. We'll pick him this play. And all these passes were complete. The reason that the Tennessee Titans end up winning the game was because it was 4th and 1 and not 4th and 5, and the Buffalo Bills didn't have to pass. And so when you look at this matchup, this is a matchup of two defenses that are struggling, and the kryptonite coming in on the opposite side. I don't think Derrick Henry gets tackled all night. It'll probably look much like Dearness Johnson from last night. I also think that the Kansas City Chiefs will not be stopped in the pass game. This will be a shootout. It may be a shootout much like a couple of years ago where the Tennessee Titans can win by a field goal late, or Patrick Mahomes gets in the groove and they do win. But I don't think there's going to be defense played on either side of the football. And then that means it will come down to, can Ryan Tannehill make the plays that he made in the pass game, the few he needed to last week, or can that Tennessee Titans defense get one stop on Patrick Mahomes late? And I don't believe that they can. Kansas City Chiefs probably edge out the Tennessee Titans.
Boy, that's a fascinating number. That is the immovable object against the resistible force, if you will, of the Kansas City defense. What do you think, Mahomes or Henry? Sacho, who do you think has the bigger day on Sunday?
Yeah, I think Henry has the bigger day. Just statistically, his last 5 games, he's averaging 145 yards per game. That's on average. And then he has 10 touchdowns on the season. We're barely over a third of the way through the season. Last year, he had 17. He's on pace for a big year. But I still believe that Kansas City will win the game. To RC's point, if it turns out being a shootout, I trust Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes in a shootout before I trust Ryan Tannehill at quarterback in a shootout.
Yeah, it's interesting the way the Kansas City season has gone. As I opened the conversation by saying, like, we were talking about them going unbeaten. Now they need to win this game just to not make people wonder if they're even going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, but even if they lose, like everyone's like, okay, they're going to be 3-4 and 61%. Even if Kansas City loses, they're still going to be okay. Their issues have to do with them, not with who they're playing against. Their issues have to do with drop passes and Patrick Mahomes making questionable decisions. But if he starts getting his mind right and stop making questionable passes and his receivers like Tyreek Hill at running back start catching the ball, we will not be worried about Kansas City. Last week against the Washington football team, they had 3 turnovers and still won the game. Clean up the turnovers and you will be fine. Even if you lose, which I think you're going to win, Kansas City is going to be A-okay.
They played one really good half last week against Washington. Let's see if they can put that together moving forward. So I asked each of you to put together an upset that you like, and it sounds to me, Ninko, like you're looking here. Give me an upset this weekend.
Yeah, I'm going with the Tennessee Titans upsetting the Kansas City Chiefs. And to me, with that running game, like I said before, it's not surprising that Tennessee is going to have a chance in this football game. I know everyone's going to say, what is he talking about? It's this Kansas City Chiefs. This year's Kansas City Chiefs, they don't look like they did in the past. So for me, I'm going with the Tennessee Titans.
I like it. Sacho, give me an upset this weekend.
Yeah, this may not sound like an upset, but I'm going Colts over 49ers. Both teams have been struggling, but a lot of people have been doubting the Colts. We understand their record. They have a losing record throughout their first 5 games, but they are rising as a team, and so I think they beat the San Francisco 49ers. Obviously, Jimmy G may play, but he's still a little bit injured. Trey Lance may not. Trent Williams may not play. So all these injuries on 49ers, and then the Colts playing well. I like the Colts over San Francisco.
I like it. How about you, RC? Give me an upset this weekend.
You know, I'm going to go with the Cincinnati Bengals, and I've been on the Lamar train, and I love Lamar, and Lamar is absolutely killing it. But y'all asked me to pick 2. Sacho picked the Colts over the 49ers, so I was left with this one, even though I didn't really want it. If Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase can come up with some huge plays down the field, which we've seen them do this year, and the Baltimore Ravens, until last week, hadn't played well in the secondary, and this defense of the Cincinnati Bengals is improving. Trey Hendrickson up front is doing extremely well. The Bengals just might edge out the Ravens and show us that they're a team that's a for real playoff contender.
That's exactly right. If anyone isn't buying into Cincinnati yet, A, they haven't watched them play, and B, they will certainly have to start if they win that game this Sunday. We're continuing in just a moment here. How last year's blunder against